Next, we will be seeing the topic ownership issues in the copyright. So, what type of copyrights issues, ownership issues we will see? Joint work, collective work, derivative work, more work made for hire. First, we will see what is a joint work. Actually, joint work is nothing but if work can be any work can be done collectively together. Okay, if any work can be done collectively together, then you can say that that work is nothing but a joint work. For example, if you are going to be writing some book and you and your friend is decided to write some book, that book name is like book 1. Okay, in this book 1 you are writing some content and your friend is doing some like related to drawings of your content, then you both are doing collectively one work. That is nothing but a joint work. Joint work is nothing but a the work done collectively together, then you can say that that is a joint work. In the joint work, there is the work cannot be done, the work cannot be taken by individually, which is nothing but after the completion of this work. Okay, after the completion of this work, both will be having the same rights. Okay, both will be having the same copyrights and both will be having the same benefits of on the on creative work. Okay, both will be having the how many members are collectively joined on that work, that many members will get benefits, same benefits on the creative work, and all the members can be having the same copyright properties. All this are the issues in the joint work. Okay, next one, collective work. Collective work is nothing but a collective work is a work prepared by multiple contributions of separate and independent works that are assembled together, which is nothing but some work can be done by independent persons. All these independent works are assembled together, then you can say that that is a collective works. For example, you can write anthologies, which is nothing but a collection of poems. This person is written some poem, this person is written some poem, this person is written by some poem. So all these poems are combined together as a single work, then you can say that that is a anthologies, collective work. Encyclopedia also you can write, or you can write making of film. Okay, in a film, story will be written by some person and music will be done by some person, songs will be by one person, like that. That is nothing but a collective work. Next one, derivative work. Derivative work is nothing but a work consisting of editorial revisions, annotations, elaborations, or other modifications which as a whole represent on original work of authorship is a derivative work. Derivative work is nothing but some work is already is there. On this work, if you are going to be doing some modifications, or if you are going to be doing some annotations or some elaborations or some editorial revisions, okay, then that work is nothing but a derivative work. So for example, revised edition of a book, already some edition of a book is there. On some book, some second edition is there, that author or some other person is trying to take that book and he wants to print third edition, then that is possible. Okay, on that work you are going some modification, so that is nothing but a third edition of a book you are going to be printing. Next one, ownership in derivative or collective work. The author of original book has rights only to his or her work and cannot reproduce or perform the derivative work without permission, which means that if you want to do some derivative work on any other author books, then you need to take the original author permission, then only you can do the derivative work on that author book, otherwise you cannot. Next one, if a work such as a book is created by one person who intends it to be complete at the time, and illustrations are later added to it by another, the work cannot be a joint work, which means that you created some book. After some days, some other person is created some modification on your book with taking of your permission only, then that work is not a joint work. Why? Because after the completion of your work, other person is added some modification. Both the persons are not doing closely. So this type of work is nothing but a not a joint work. That only he is telling here. If a work such as a book is created by one person who intends it to be complete at the time, and illustrations are later added it by another, the work cannot be a joint work. Next, because there was no intention of the parties to create a unitary whole at the time of their creation. While creating the book, both are not together created the work, so this is not a joint work. Next one, the author of derivative work cannot create further works based on the original book without permission, and cannot reproduce the original work without permission, which is nothing but a, if any person is trying to do some modification on the original book, then that person should take the permission from the original author, then only he can do the derivative work on the content. Okay, next one, multiple ownership rights may also arise if separately copyright works are compiled into a collection. Multiple ownership rights may also arise if separately copyrightable works are compiled into a collection, which is nothing but a, in a collective work multiple persons will be involved. Each and every person can take his own the copyright, which means that this person can take copyright on his work and this person can take copyright on his work, and so on. In the collective work, that is possible. Multiple persons involved, that multiple persons can be taken the copyright. Next one, works made for hire. Hire is nothing but you can take some organization. Okay, works made for hire is something that was created by an employee while on the job or by an independent contractor who has hired to create the work, which is nothing but a, works made for hire is nothing but a, if any employee did some work, okay, he created some work, that work is related to some job, okay, then he cannot take copyright on that work if that work is related to job. Okay, work made for hire is something that was created by an employee while on the job. Okay, related to job, if he created something, if related to job, for example, he created some software. Okay, related to job he created, not personally, so he cannot take copyright on this software. Okay, that employee cannot take the copyright on this software, the company should take the copyright on this software, like that. Works made for hire is nothing but that. The copyright cannot take on work made for hire belongs to the employer or the party who commissioned the work. So the copyright cannot be taken by independently if he works related to job or for any organization. Okay, next one, ownership in works made for hire. What are the ownership issues are there? Means an employee who writes an article or design a web page or draws an illustration for a company publication is creating a work for hire. So here work made for hire, so they cannot take copyright individually. Just now I said, if he done any designing of web page or some logo he designed for company or some publication he did for company, then he did that work for job, he cannot, so he cannot take copyright on that independent work. He cannot take independently. The company can take that copyright on that work. Even if the artist is not technically an employee, if a court determines an employment relationship exists between the artist and employee, the artist will not own copyright on her work, which is nothing but a, if any some artist, he designed some logo, okay, if any some artist, he designed some logo to particular company, then this artist cannot take copyright on this logo. He designed this logo for company purpose, so company should take the copyright on this logo, not the artist. Okay, these are some ownership issues. Next one, in collective work, the copyright can be taken by all the authors jointly, or individual author can take separately copyright for their own work. Just now we have seen, no, in collective work, each and every author can take the copyright, or combinedly only one author can take the copyright. These are the ownership issues in the copyright. You can write about the ownership issues, means joint work, collective work, derivative work, work made for hire.